200 pounds landed on my ankle. I do weigh 200 pounds this morning, by the way.
Oh, so you're down.
0.000, even the 0.0. Yeah. Old big girl getting it. I can't wait to see 199. Man, that hurt my ankle. Okay, so we're just chatting. I'm procrastinating. If we're being completely honest, I'm procrastinating. But if you guys catch this now, I will be recording the rest of the day, and I'm just going to be live on TikTok as I do it the rest of the day. So you're going to catch some free trainings today. If you're not bored, not doing anything, you can do that. What should we talk about today? I want to talk about first, what do we have coming up? We have in October more trainings in the next chapter. We have group coaching for dads and moms.
Yeah. And in the next chapter, the ladies in there, because when you're in there, you get to tell us what you need help with. And the ladies were voting and telling us that they need help with like overwhelm.
Right.
So we're actually getting a coach coming in I think it's the first week of October.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A coach coming in to help with like reducing stress and overwhelm and burnout. So if you're not in the next chapter, get in there. You get a training every week on shit that you tell us you need help with.
Right. So, and then I have a co-parenting course coming out November 1st. So 1 more month for me to get that done. And that's what I'm recording today. I'm recording trainings for that course. So you can catch them for free today. If you guys watch my TikToks today, I think I'm going to be inside. I'll flip-flop back and forth between the divorce TikTok and the co-parenting TikTok.
And then you have your parenting plan workshop.
Yes. Oh yeah. Gosh, I do. I have that coming up October 3rd through the 5th, the parenting plan workshop. So if you have not got your parenting plan written yet, or I just had my own bookkeeper. I was just telling you, the lady that does the books for me, she cooks my books. I wish she did, so I don't have to pay as much in taxes, by the way, but she doesn't cook my books. But she was getting a divorce and she just settled right before court, you guys. And she has my parenting plan and he signed it right before they walked into court today and said, fine, I'll take it, and signed it. So don't give up hope. If you are one that's been denied mediation, your high conflict parent is like, pushing it away and saying, no, I don't want that parenting plan. No, I don't want that settlement offer. You never know what's going to happen moments before you walk into court. You just don't. People fold like a deck of cards sometimes. They get scared. They don't want to go in front of the judge and they fold. So, there's hair on this. I tell you, it's just a shit show around here lately. I got 2 boys homesick today. Augie puked his guts out all night, and he's 5, and he did a pretty good rock star job of getting to the toilet, except for once. And then Brutus just has a cough, and he just...
Yeah, September sucks. Back to school month, everybody gets something.
Everybody, yeah. And I was supposed to have somebody come look at my house tonight, so I had to cancel that because I was like, I'm not one of those people that like get scared of people being sick, but I don't want somebody else to get sick if they come to my house and I have germs, so I was like, hey, my kids are sick. Let's reschedule. So, because we're
asking, are these for parents in high conflict situations or would they apply for amicable situations? They apply to both. Sam specializes in high conflict. And so if you're getting into her parenting plan workshop, it's for high conflict as well. But even if it's amicable, it's good to have a parenting plan because there are seasons of co-parenting, and you might have a really nice season where there's just puppies and rainbows and you guys get along and everything is on the same page and it's nice and easy breezy. And then something happens and then you have a shit hitting the fan season and you're going to wish that you had things on paper that you could just say, refer to the parenting plan.
Right. I was just on a podcast yesterday. That podcast went really well. It was 2 moms and 2 divorced moms that are in their co-parenting journey. And the lady said, she was like, I had an amicable divorce. I get along with my ex. She's like, and my parenting plan is only like 4 pages long and it's super vague. She's like, what should I do? And I was like, while you're in this good season, start talking to your ex about possibly just jotting down a little bit more specific details for this whole next fiscal year that you go through, and just write down some stuff and say, hey, this is what we did for Christmas. This is what we did for Easter. And just start being a little bit more methodical with what you're doing, and then bring up a couple heavy subjects every month and write down even some more detail. And then by the end of it, you're still in a good season and you have something. Because I said the second one of you moves on and the other one's butthurt about it, that's when you're going to get into that bad season. So we just talked about that yesterday, that, you might be intimidated by the word high conflict to be like, I'm not high conflict. My ex and I are amicable. We get along, we're best friends. That's great. At some point in time, shit will hit the fan.
Candy. I was just telling you the other day, that was me, is like amicable divorce, no parenting plan. I didn't even know what that was when I got divorced. My divorce agreement is like 3 pages long, super vague. And so now I am in situations where like my ex, he moved 6 hours away. And so he texted me less than 24 hours in advance to be like, oh, I'm going to come pick her up tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. It's like
Right.
everything was so vague. It's like now we have no, luckily, we've been able to make it work without any crazy conflicts, but it would definitely have made it easier to just have more structure where things aren't just like,
it's your backbone.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, and to where you don't have to feel bad. Like if you would have had plans, you would have felt
Yeah,
bad.
I would have been like, well,
Right. Versus if you have that parenting plan, you can be like, hey, bro, you didn't give me 30 days notice for coming into town or even 7 days notice. You can write whatever kind of notice you want into your parenting plan.
Yeah.
But, for a lot of you, I just feel bad for the mom or the dad that is a level-headed person, that's, a very kind person, open for change, open for flexibility, but you don't get it from the other side. You don't get respect from the other side. You don't get that flexibility, and that really sucks. And that parenting plan is just something that really supports you. I had a really good question the other day, and I want to see what your response is. I don't think we talked about this yet. I had a dad who is divorced. I think maybe you saw this in our group, where he posted that there was a movie premiere coming out, and it was during his visitation, and the ex-wife, who's high conflict, never does him any favors, never is cordial to him, never respectful to him, emailed him and said, hey, can we meet you? Can I take the child to this premiere first? And if not, can I at least meet you at the movie theater for this premiere of this movie? And we can all go together. And the dad was like, A, she would have never done this for me. B, I don't want to share this experience with her because she's never been kind to me in front of our children, and I don't want it to be awkward. I just want to go and enjoy the movie and not have this whole, like, I have to be a different person for that whole time,
Right. It just changes the dynamic of the whole.
It changes the whole day, your vibe for the whole day. And so he's like, what should we do? And it was all of us, other dads and us, as being in there as their coaches, were just like, say what you want to say. No. And I said, Leah will tell you, no is a whole sentence. Like, you just say, no, thank you. And he said, what am I going to do when she comes back and says, well, why not? Are you taking her? That's none of her business. It's
You don't even have
decision.
to respond to that. Yeah, you don't have to give the why not.
No.
You have to be strategic with who you're talking to. If you're talking to a reasonable, rational person who you can have a conversation with, and there's a chance that they can like understand where you're coming from and meet you in the middle, then you can give a little bit more if you want, But if you're dealing with someone where no matter what the fuck you say, they're just going to come back at you with something, like you can't win. Just say no. No is a complete sentence. You don't need to engage in this like back and forth trying to justify and explain things.
Right. And to me, I think this is one avenue about divorce that people have to start understanding clearly. Divorce sucks when it comes to the first of your kids. You're not going to be there for the first lost tooth. You might miss the first rollover. You might miss the first, heartbreak. You might miss the first date. You're going to miss a lot of first. So this movie premiere, I'm sorry, take your kid the following weekend. If it's such a great movie and your kid's amped to see it, they can go fucking twice. Like, you're not going to be the first parent for everything. And you can't expect somebody that you just divorced, whether it's 5 years ago or 15 or 5 fucking minutes ago, to want to do shit with you. Just because you could be cordial enough to go to a movie together doesn't mean that other person wants to go to the movie with you, and they don't have to do shit with you anymore because you're fucking divorced. Right. The other thing we talked about in this podcast yesterday was that it's okay to not be the lifetime special of doing everything together as co-parents. I get so fucking sick and tired in my comment section of people telling me, who aren't probably experienced in high conflict, that say, you're such a selfish mother. Why don't you do things for your child? Why don't you look at your child's perspective and do things why don't you be nicer to your ex for your child's sake? Say yes to this movie for your child's sake. And no, if my mental well-being is going to be affected by going somewhere with my ex, then I'm not going to be at the prime of my game of being a good mom, because I'm walking on eggshells as I walk into this movie premiere, knowing my ex is going to be there. I don't have to do shit from my kid's perspective if it hurts my mental well-being. Yes. I just don't. So those of you that keep putting that in my comment section, thanks for the algorithm push by the more comments. I appreciate that part. But understand, I'm never going to put my own safety and feelings and well-being aside so that my kid can go to a fucking movie and have her dad sitting on the other side of her. She can go the next weekend and have her dad sitting on the other side of her. I'm not doing that shit with him anymore. I'm just not. And I hate that the world makes us feel like we're a bitch if we don't want to go sit at a movie theater with my ex-husband. Like, no, I'm not. Even if my kid would have said, "Hey, can dad come?" No, kiddo, it's my time. That's all I'm saying. No, kiddo, it's my time. Dad can take you next weekend.
Mhm.
He does not need to come during my fucking time.
Mhm.
Like, I just don't understand why.
And again, it depends. That's how you feel. It depends on the relationship. If you have a healthy relationship with your ex, which does exist. I mean, there are people
Yes,
who
yeah,
co-parent and they can still be friends and come over to barbecues and shit like that. Fine, then do it. But if you're with somebody who you know their presence is impeding on your mental health and your well-being because it's just not a good relationship,
mhm,
you don't have to do it. It's not,
right.
you have to take care of yourself.
Right. So I felt bad for this dad because I know that feeling. You're sitting there and you're like, gosh, I wish we did have that lifetime special relationship where we could be respectful to each other and our daughter could feel our presence and we could be that cool couple that has two on this side and two on that side and we could do it.
Mhm.
But no, and the other thing to think about is your child has to get used to not being, and this was one of the other questions in the dad group, is that there's a little bit of they feel like their child's starting to manipulate the situation of having two households and manipulating feelings and things like that and saying, hey, will you do this for me and be together? And it's like, no, I don't feel comfortable being around that person. Your
Yeah.
child has to get used to the fact that they're going to have two of everything, two movie premieres, two birthdays, two Christmases.
Yeah.
Like, this is their life
Which
now.
isn't bad. I mean, some kids like that stuff. But also, what are you teaching your kids? If
Yeah,
you are somebody who feels uncomfortable being
right.
around someone else who you feel impedes on your mental health and your well-being, and you're going anyway,
Yeah.
what are you teaching your kids that they should do when they find themselves in a situation where they're uncomfortable or
Mhm.
their mental health and well-being is being impeded on? Are you going to be like, well, you need to just fucking go anyway? Fuck your
Right.
feelings and your mental health. You just need to do what this other person wants you to do.
Right. And I think there's this stigma that just because I'm high conflict with, my ex-husband, that we're assholes to each other, we just don't engage. Like there's not the last
Because
few
you can't,
years
because
there was
that's not
yeah,
gonna, that's just gonna escalate into a
right.
shitstorm.
There was just no engagement. It's not like, my daughter was like, "Oh my gosh, polar opposites. I got to walk over here and talk to mom. I got to walk." We would stand 7, 8 feet apart from each other after a game and she'd go over and talk to him and then walk over. And, we may be in the same proximity of each other, but we weren't standing right next to each other and talking to her together. I don't want people to think that it's this, and some people are commenting, yeah, we scream at each other anytime we're in public. We were never like that, but we were more the couple that would just glare at each other, like uncomfortableness and like, "Ugh, I fucking hate you. I hate you," and blah, blah, blah. But we never had words in front of our kids for the most part. I mean, here and there, but nothing like explosive where the cops needed to come or anything like that. But I think it's one of those mindset that it's not ugly if you're high conflict if one parent has a boundary. If neither parent has a boundary, it is ugly. And the cops come and it's ugly and there's words and your kids are affected. But as long as one parent in a high conflict situation has a boundary of separation of no, this is my space, don't talk to me, step away, leave the area, it's actually okay for your kids. And as my kids have said multiple times, we prefer you not to be around each other because
Mm,
it's too awkward for
right.
when
And
you
then they
are
get stressed because they can feel that
bravely stressed.
animosity. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like in the middle of it.
Yes, and they didn't trust their high conflict parent. They thought he would explode in public, and then now here's a scene, now here's a
Yeah,
moment, now
it's
here's a
embarrassing.
embarrassment, so I think it's best if you are high conflict that you just be the one with boundaries. You're not going to get the other person to stop, but you can have a boundary. You can show them that you're not going to tolerate it.
Yeah.
And it works. And it works.
I just
Um,
want to say, you're amazing.
well, thank
I
you.
don't know if anyone's told you recently. I always feel so grateful that you're not, I mean, you're my friend. You're my dear friend. Also,
Right.
now you're my business partner, but I'm just proud of like the human you are
Well, thank you.
and the mom you are.
Well,
You're
thank
amazing.
you. It's a daily struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I think having 4 kids and 4 different personalities and really
It's
two
a
different
lot.
sets right now in a full-time business, it's a lot. I mean, Josie's in the prime of senior year. Walker's figuring himself out being 19 and not going to college, and then I got my 2 littles. And it's just, I'm very actually proud of myself that I'm still putting myself first. I called you this morning and said, look, I know we have this appointment. I got to push it because I have to put me first. If I don't walk today, if I don't exercise today, I'm going to feel like a pile of shit. So I literally, guys, I stopped our business. Like I said, no, we can't do this live until after I have done my thing, because if I don't get it in the morning, my kids take over. And then it's an easy excuse not to do. And so it's just this powerful thing of like, okay, once I check my box, then I can fill everybody else. But I have to check my box first. And it's really hard sometimes. I did not want to go outside today. I was laying on the couch, scrolling TikTok, and I finally did the Mel Robbins thing where I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, feet on the floor.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And I was just like, I put my feet on the floor and I'm like, I told Jerry, I said, I'm going to get dressed. And then I was like, just keep pushing me towards the door once I get dressed. And he was like, okay, here's your vitamins, here's your thing, and just go. And I just went outside. And then, we watched the Kardashians, but which that was one thing we didn't know we both watched whenever we started being friends. We
like the
shamelessly like the Kardashians. So
I
watched it. I think the more and more I watch it, I'm just not a fan of Kourtney. I'm just not.
I don't know. They're all different. What I love so much is like that they're just such successful women. Like whether or not you like them as a personality, these are women who are fucking powerhouses. They're making millions and millions and millions of dollars from all of their businesses. Good for them. Good for them. And there are people that aren't going to agree with them or like what they do or what they say. But I mean, you're going to get that regardless. Anybody who's in the public eye is going to have people who like them and people who don't. But I just am always rooting. I'm always rooting for women to succeed. I'm always rooting for people to, get the things that they're working hard for. And I really love how they deal with like trolls and hate, right? So many people fucking hate them and they're so nasty and so mean to them, like on social media and stuff. And it's because we get that stuff. Yeah. What we talk about, what we post, when we put ourselves out there, we get people who come at us for our beliefs and our thoughts and our choices. And so I love that they just don't give a fuck. They just do what they want to do. And that's what everybody should do.
I couldn't imagine putting stuff out like I am now in the midst of a divorce and reading the comments. Like when people come for us in the comments now, it's almost comical because they think their word is going to affect my day. Or my decision making about how I parent or co-parent. And so it's comical to read people's perspective. And it's almost like I can see the hurt that they've been through or the lack of education about their comment on thinking that's what they have to be doing. And it's like, no, that's old school. You actually have freedom after your divorce. You don't have to do those things. The whole sentence of, put your feelings aside and do it for the children. That's a no for me.
Yeah.
That is an absolute no for me. I'm not going to put my feelings aside. So
and that doesn't mean you're ignoring your kids' needs. Like that's not the same thing. You're still being a good mom and you're doing what you need to for your kids, but you also have to do what you need for you. Like you have to.
Right.
It makes a lot of sense to me. And I know that there are certain people that doesn't make sense to. They feel like if you have children that you need to sacrifice everything and that child is everything in your whole world and your needs don't matter anymore and your wants and desires and feelings don't matter anymore.
Right.
I just don't believe that. I think I am the best mom now that I've ever been because I prioritize myself and my needs, because I practice regular self-care and do what I need to do to be in the right mindset. I get enough sleep. I take care of my body. I do things that take care of my mind. That enables me to show up for my kid and on a completely different level. And I'm also teaching her empowering habits. I'm saying, like you should put when you grow up, it's important. Your needs matter. You matter.
Yep. Did you see the guy, one of the dads in our dad's group, because we have a dad's support group now. He was like talking about, he worked out last night. He goes, I've never been to a gym and I don't know how to lift a weight, but he was exercising, listening to loud music in his living room and he recorded it and put it in our group last night. I was like, way to kick ass, man. He's like,
Yeah,
Sam says self-care is important, so I'm doing it.
it
Um,
is.
I saw it last night. It was so cool that to be vulnerable enough to record yourself, put the video out to try to help other dads. Like, let's go, let's take care of it,
Yes,
let's do it.
motivating
So
others. Yeah, so
applauding
any
him.
dads or men, if you're watching this, by the way, we do have now a private men-only support group, a free
Yep.
one. So if you click the link in my bio, you can come in there. And we've got one for women as well.
Yep. Everything's in the bio, guys. So like, I know Dan's asking here, it's a Facebook group. We actually called it the Men's Divorce Circle. So you can look it up, answer the membership questions and get yourself in there. But yeah, it's other dads. And then we put our husbands in there. That way, you know, they know us really well and they know our business really well. They know us coaching and stuff. So they are in there to help too.
Dan is saying, how do you sign up to do the dads group? So there's a free there. If you click, I don't know where you're watching us, Dan, on Facebook, but if you click the link in our bios, it should take you to the link tree, but we could do the post. There's a free private support group for men called the Men's Divorce Circle. So you can get in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have the next chapter for dads. That is the paid monthly membership where
Yep.
you get a new workshop from us every single week. And you get to tell us what you want us to do workshops on. So we train on co-parenting, on self-care, on parental alienation, on boundaries. I mean, all kinds of things.
We
And
just did one on
sometimes
love
we bring
language.
people in as a guest to coach.
We just did one on love language yesterday.
Yeah, love language
the
with your
dads.
kids. That was a really good one.
Yeah, that was really good. I think when the dads watch that one, they're going to be blown away by that one to really connect with their kids, especially if you have a high conflict ex-wife that's, you know, trying to alienate you away from your kids. Love language is the number one stopper to connect with your kids. She can run her mouth, but as long as you are connected with your kids, you'll be good. Let's shift a little bit. I did a TikTok the other day about moving on and it kind of blew up. I made a TikTok that just pretty much said, you're divorced and your ex moves on. Why are you so upset about it? You know, why? And this goes both ways. This goes for men and women. Why do you get so upset because your ex moves on? Is it because A, you're worried that that person's going to try to take over your mom's spot or your dad's spot? Or is it B, that person, your ex, moved on quickly or even just dove into another relationship and kind of like it's a reflection upon your marriage, not meaning shit? Or is it that you're comparing yourself to that person and you have low self-esteem?
Yeah.
You know,
or are you making it mean something about you?
Yeah, it does.
Your ex
nothing to
moving
do with
on
them.
quickly. Like, are you making that mean something about your worth or how good enough you are or your value or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Somebody just said your comment about putting your needs aside for your children. That's a no for me. I'm trying to convey that to our family counselor who is doing, oh, it moved too fast. Who is doing what? Reunification, co-parenting. I don't think she gets it. I'm not willing to put my feelings aside and be nice. I think this is a push that the court system pushes on us, counselors push on us, the attorneys push on our attorney. My attorney literally said, I know you don't want to, but you have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So you want me to go do something with my ex-husband, even though I don't want to do it, but you want me to appear good in front of the court. I don't agree. I don't agree at all. But back to that TikTok. Yeah. It just kind of blew up of people just saying, you know, I was really hurt when he moved on, when she moved on, it hurt my feelings. And I'm telling you in that video, I said, if you don't let it go and accept it, you're never going to move forward. You're going to be stuck there for a long time. And it's going to be a weight over you trying to figure out, why do they want so many people in our kids' lives? Why do they want that person to be over there? You know, why are they with them? That's nothing like me. Why is that the type of person they've always wanted to be with? Because that person looks nothing like me, does nothing like me. If you stay self-consumed with that, you're never going to be able to move on. Yeah. Even if there was an affair, you guys, like at some point,
you gotta let go. You gotta take your power back by focusing back on you, whatever that is. Maybe you gotta block them on social media. You gotta stop having your friends and family give you updates on like what they're doing. I mean, figure out where your boundaries with yourself are then to help you move forward. Crystal says, how do you sign up for the women's group? So there's two. There's a private free one for women that's called Divorced and Empowered on Facebook. You can join that if you're not in there, or the next chapter for women. That's the one where you get a new workshop every week. We did the love languages, boundaries, all that stuff. And the replays are staying there for at least a month. So you can watch them at any time. And that's the next chapter and you can join that. Nikki says, you guys are such good influences. Can't say it enough. Thank you. Listening to this
Oh,
stuff has helped me move out of victim mentality to a place of strength. Nikki, I love you. You're a fucking badass.
that
Good
was
for
a nice
you.
comment.
Good for you.
We need to screenshot that one. That one's pretty good. Um, Yeah, so, the rest of the day, you guys, I'm gonna be down here recording, and I'm excited to have it done because it's something I've been wanting to put together for a long time. So, we talk about co-parenting all the time, and I had really good therapists for my children when I was going through my divorce, like this woman named Barbara. I mean, I don't know what she's doing today. Of course, she was a little old whenever we had her, and that was years ago, so I'm not too sure where she's at, but she just knew. She just knew who my ex-husband was. She
Mhm.
got it. She understood it. And she said, look, Sam, you are never going to stop him from being who he is. But these are kids. You have to be their saving grace. So I'm going to give you tools every time you come. And she just gave me amazing tools. So I'm going to go and share those in the trainings that I record today. And then that course will be available November 1st and it's for co-parents. It's for people, I know I specialize in high conflict, and that's really who this course is for. But I'm telling you, there's nothing in that course that isn't for a parent that gets along with somebody. It's, hey, if you're in a mood, if you're PMSing, if you're having a bad week at work and you're angry, how do I engage with my ex at a baseball game? How do I do an exchange if I, don't want to be talking and things like that? I just give you tips. Some of the recordings are going to be 3 minutes long, some will be 30 minutes long. But there's really good stuff on there about transitions. There's good stuff about interacting physically, good stuff about teaching your kids on how to talk to you and how to engage with your kids. So the trainings are all over the place. There's so many, there's going to be 45 training videos.
That's
So
crazy.
it is, but it's 12 years of experience of doing
Yeah.
it and living it. And again, great therapists for my kids as they aged up as well into their own personal therapists and my therapists, and just all the books we've read and the interactions we've had and trial and error. Some of it is trial and error on, I know you think you should do this, but don't do this, do this instead kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. What are you doing today?
I have an interview for a podcast. That's my second one. Actually, the first one this week was for that summit. We did a dating after divorce summit. Sam and I were both speakers on that. So we'll end up sending you guys the info on that if you want to go and watch some of the other speakers. But yeah, I've got a podcast and then just finishing up with stuff over here, just like kind of like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs and check on the boys one more time. Jared being home is so great now because it didn't affect my day that the kids got sick.
Right now
he's already home. So very, very helpful. I don't know what else I have. I think I'm recording today, tomorrow, and Saturday. So if you're on TikTok on the next 3 days, I would be scanning my page because I'm probably just going to be letting it sit there and going live while I'm recording and doing stuff. So I might have the same clothes on for the next 3 days, but it's because I'm going to be recording and doing all of this. But
someone asked about the women's group. So the free private women's group on Facebook is called Divorced and Empowered. And if you want to get into the monthly membership phase group where we do workshops every week, that's the next chapter. And that's what's on the screen, I think, right now.
Yep. So I don't think we have anything else. You guys, again, take action. I have that parenting plan workshop coming up. We have the next chapters for men and women. Like, just go in somewhere and even get more help, get more customized help. The group coaching is a great place to be so that you can do that. Can I participate without Facebook in groups? All of our groups are on Facebook except for group coaching is on Zoom.
Yeah. Or our courses. I mean, you could do her parenting plan.
Yeah, courses.
Workshop. You could do my confidence course. That's all self-paced. It gets sent right to your inbox.
Yep. The workshop is on Zoom.
I'm
excited about the workshop.
Yes, there's a group for men. You can either join the private free group for men. It's called the Men's Divorce Circle. And I don't know, it's hard to see where you guys are seeing us from, but if you click the link in our bio, it should take you to like everything. But the Men's Divorce Circle is the free private group. And then there's also the next chapter, which is where you get those workshops every week. So both of those are for dads now too.
Right. Somebody just said boundaries are amazing and the other party is never going to like them. Nope.
Yes.
The boundary is for you. It's not for them.
Yes. There's two hard parts about boundary setting. One is communicating it. And then two is how do you handle the response of the person that you communicated that boundary to, right? How do you navigate that?
Right. Exactly. What if your kiddos don't want counseling? It's all how you approach it. Hey kiddo, I think you're, fucked up. You need counseling. That's not a way to do it. It's no different than a dentist appointment or a doctor's appointment. To me, it's just like, hey, kiddo, I scheduled you an appointment to go talk with somebody, let them know how school's going, friendships are going, your relationship with me, your relationship with your other parent, worries about grades, worries about relationships. But this is something every kid needs to be going through. I just think and again, I don't let my kids have a lot of choices at a young age. As they get older, my kids had great value in it, but it took finding the right therapist for each child too. I think that's a big, you need to ask your kid what kind of doctor they want. Do they want a male? Do they want a female? Do they want old? Do they want young? I always say my son, he loves older women. As a gay man, he loves older women to sit and talk with. So his therapist, Denise, is early 70s, white hair, great, but he loves talking to her. So I think you just got to find a good fit for your kiddo. But sometimes it's not a choice. Sometimes you just need to negotiate and say, hey, you need to go to 3 appointments. And after that, we can make a decision, but you need to have 3 appointments. If you feel like your kid needs it, you do whatever means possible to make sure they get the help and support that they absolutely need. So, but you got to word it as just like a regular appointment. I mean, why it's any different than a dentist appointment or a physical or an eye checkup or a hearing check. I don't know why it's any different. We put the stigma on it. Take the stigma away, and it's no different than having to do those appointments.
Yeah.
I mean, you just need to let know, and you go to therapy. Let your kid know. Something I do too. I mean, I think that was one of the reasons my kids were so open to it, is because they knew I was doing it as well. That I wanted somebody to talk to that kept all my secrets.
Yeah.
So
I love therapy.
What if my ex attacks me and my parenting? How do I respond?
You don't have to respond at all. It doesn't matter what they think of you. Period. Right. And if they are trying to take you to court, they need to have proof of these things that they're accusing you of. So right. If you're not doing anything wrong, then you don't have to worry. Don't even respond at all.
Right. And I think, Zoe, you must be early on in this phase, because she said they will come for me on Facebook and text. Block. Facebook is not a parenting must have.
No.
Get off social media for a while. If you can't handle blocking, just remove the whole app and be done with it.
Yeah.
And nothing says you have to have a text message come through either.
But yeah, I love the block button, because some people just don't need to know what's going on in your life, and you don't need to know what's going on in theirs.
No, thank you to whoever just joined the next chapter for dads. That was
nice.
Cool. That was cool. All right, I'm going to go upstairs, you guys. I'm going to go freshen up. I'm going to go see my kiddos because they're homesick. And then I'm going to start recording. And I'm doing 10 videos today.
You got this.
I'm not stopping till 10.
It's going to be super easy. Videos. It's going to flow.
It is. What do I need? Positive affirmations. I will get, yeah.
Yes.
I have 10 videos done.
These videos come to me easily and effortlessly. It is going to be a piece of cake. I am prepared. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to love the feeling of having these 10 videos recorded.
Yes. I'm going to go on the ugly truth of co-parenting first. So I'm going to X out and then come back. And then I'm not going to be able to respond to you guys. So if you're watching me on these videos, I'm not responding to the TikTok. I'm just talking to my screen here. So, okay, I'm going to go do it. All right. Wish me luck.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.